Hello and welcome. Today I'm adding Alien Cat 2 from the Indie Heroes Collection 1 to my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever. I'm also going to cover Alien Cat 2 Enhanced Edition, as found on the Indie Heroes Collection 3. Alien Cat 2 was originally developed, I think, for modern systems and was ported by PSCD Games to the Mega Drive, which was the basis of what got enhanced in the Super Nintendo version. It's also seen ports to the NES and Master System. Anyway, I know nothing about the other Alien Cat games, but in Alien Cat 2 your alien cat crash lands on a planet and has to repair his ship, and what follows is a puzzle game where you have to collect the various bits to repair your ship. Only your alien cats can clone itself, and that causes, well, that's the basis for most of the puzzles. Seeing as I'm covering both a Mega Drive and a Super Nintendo version, it made me think of something. Yep, console wars. The Mega Drive versus Super Nintendo was a classic console war, and there's that YouTube channel Console Wars but they do break down the differences between the versions of the games quite well. So I'm going to take a similar approach. As I go through each category, I'll go through both versions and how they compare and what the differences are. Obviously the story won't change, it's the same across the board, and there's no nostalgia because it's an aftermarket game. So let's get straight on to
the graphics.
Alien Cat 2 looks pretty good on the Mega Drive. By Mega Drive standards, it isn't a revolutionary or impressive game, but the design is simple, easy to read, tell what everything is, and it looks nice enough. It's quite cute and charming, and everything runs smoothly. But at the same time, it basically looks like a Master System game. It looks more 8-bit than 16-bit. Which for a puzzle game, that's not really a big problem. The visuals aren't over-rendered, there's not too much detail, or there's not too much going on to make it look muddy or confusing. So it looks pretty good, in a very typically more modern indie style of visuals. So on to the Super Nintendo version, the Enhanced Edition. So naturally it's going to be graphically enhanced, right? Well, it kind of is. There are some mild enhancement. There's a few bits which are changed, which I'd say are neither better nor worse. The look of the portals, for example. And everything seems a bit more zoomed in, which is due to, as the Console Wars guys would likely put it, the screen is cropped. There's less negative space around the main play area. But does this affect the gameplay? Well, no, it doesn't. Not really. No, not at all even. The colours do seem a little bit more vibrant maybe, but other than that, graphically they are largely on par with each other. Really comes down to picking your poison on whether you prefer the slightly more zoomed in look, and yeah. But overall, Alien Cat 2 is not a bad looking game. Simple for the hardware, but it more than does the job and it suits the gameplay. So let's move on to the
sound and music.
On the Mega Drive, these sound effects are quite limited, and I can't really say more about them than they are functional. You've got your tinkles and beeps where you need them, but little else. The music, however, is really good. They're catchy, jaunty tunes, which will have you bopping along as you're doing the actual gameplay stuff as you do. Each set of levels has a different tune, and there's a little tune on the between level sections, and like I said, they're all really good. I can't complain about them at all. It really suits the FM synth sound chip of the Mega Drive. The music might well be the strongest element of the game. But with the Super Nintendo version being an enhanced edition, the music's going to be enhanced and improved and generally better, right? No, it's not. The sound effects are similarly pretty basic. I mean, they're functional, they're a bit softer sounding, and again, not much real difference, just a difference in how it sounds on the system. The music, however, still has brilliant compositions. They are catchy tunes. And you'd think with the technically better sound capabilities of the Super Nintendo, it would sound better. Personally, I don't think so. They are still good tunes, don't get me wrong, and it could be personal preference. I know some people do prefer the Super Nintendo version. I just don't think the compositions work quite as well with the sound samples they've chosen for these tracks. It feels like they've lost a little something. Of course, like I said, that's my personal preference maybe. I do have a soft spot for FM synth stuff. It just feels more natural for these tunes, in my opinion. So, is it enhanced audio-wise? again, pick your poison. So let's get on to the
gameplay.
On the Mega Drive, the gameplay is fairly straightforward. It's a top-down puzzle game where you control your alien cats using grid-based movement, and you have to collect various bits to repair your ship. Once you've collected all the bits on the level, a portal opens allowing you to go back to your ship, therefore completing the level. Things are complicated with mines and traps and things along the way, but there's also some switches to get rid of traps, and you have to, essentially just collect your items, get to the exit. Very straightforward on the first level, but then you start getting clones of your alien cat, and all of your clones move in, their movement is synchronized. So you move one left, the other ones go left in their relative position. Of course, if there is a trap or a mine or whatever in the position they go to, that clone dies, therefore a restart of the level. And when you have 3 or 4 different cats doing this, navigating these small mazes can be quite problematic. So you have to use the environment and places where certain cats can't go to alter the relative positioning of the cats, and again, navigate things, collect the items, and get to the end of finish the level, collect all the items, and get to the portal. It's pretty straightforward, even though I've explained it very badly. It also makes for some really devious puzzles. Honestly, it's a really fun game if you like this sort of puzzle game thing, which I do, so I think it's great. And on the Mega Drive, it feels good to play, and the levels are challenging enough that even though it's not a huge amount of levels, it will still keep you scratching your head for a bit and have you playing for a while. So the Super Nintendo version is an enhanced edition. It will have enhanced gameplay, right? Right? Yeah, right. Well, no, kind of. The gameplay is pretty much the same and it feels good to play. It's still a very good puzzle game, but this is also where the real enhancements are. There's more levels.
Overall opinion.
Alien Cat 2 is one of the best games on Indie Heroes Collections 1 and 3. It is a good, fun and quite challenging puzzle game, and it is good in both versions, but one's better, right? Yeah, just about. With pretty much as good visuals and music, but more levels to play through. The Super Nintendo version, or the enhanced version, is indeed enhanced, but you can't go wrong with either one version. If you've already got one cart, this wouldn't be a game to get the other cart forward to play the other version. I don't think it's that much enhanced if you already have Indie Heroes 1, but regardless, Alien Cat 2 is always a good time.
Ranking.
To place Alien Cat 2, including the enhanced edition, on my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever, I'm going to place them both together, above In the Hunt, but below Another World, placing them at 93 out of 445 games that I've ranked so far. Anyway, that's everything for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.